What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Sermon Notes podcast. We're here with Pastor Landon, and we're kind of talking about his past sermon this past Sunday, our first weekend of church at home.
Yeah.
Man, we had a lot of people tune in. I believe we had 670 views.
770.
I just said that completely backwards, didn't I?
You did. But that's okay. Those 100 people, they matter.
Yes, it does.
They matter to me, at least.
Man, I said that completely backwards.
That's good.
That's funny.
Good.
No, it was good. We had so many people view, and the chat's going. It was a lot of fun. Kids Church was legit.
Makes you kind of wonder how many people actually saw it, though. If it was 700 and something views,
Yes.
how many people were in the house watching it together and
Absolutely.
with their family? And
Yeah, we got
cool.
so many cool pictures of people having church together.
I love that
The kids were
so
worshiping,
much.
pictures of kids worshiping. If you want to see them, go check out our Facebook page. They're all over it. It's really
those,
awesome.
Keep those coming. That was fun.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it just goes to show, like, we're so privileged and blessed to be able to come into a building each week.
Yes.
But just because the building isn't an option does not mean that church is not happening all over the city.
That's right.
That Sunday was it. I even read an article that said it was titled the day the church broke the internet. And it said that 28,000 people raised their hand to accept Jesus Christ.
Come on.
That's incredible.
Wow. Praise God.
If God...
That's just what we know about. That's just
Exactly.
what we reported.
That's what we know about in those moments where people clicked a button. And I think it's wonderful because I think in times like this, despair is something that we can naturally default to.
That's right.
You know, and these are overwhelming. These are unprecedented times. We are not used to this in our lifetime. We're not used to this magnitude of something,
right?
You know, that we can really think about. And so there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions and things are changing every single day.
Yeah.
It can be a little overwhelming, but God is still God. And my goodness, like,
yeah,
it's amazing to see.
And I don't know about you, but I want to, at the end of this time, however long it is, I don't want to look back and regret what I didn't do during this time. I want to be like proud and excited and happy about the attitude I had, the faith that I had, even the way that I approached the Lord Jesus and like His kingdom. And wouldn't it be great if at the end of these however many weeks or months, we could look and go, hey, that person met Jesus during this time. Because the church didn't stop being the church.
That's right.
The church isn't a building. The church is a people. We have a building. The church isn't a service. We're a church that has a service.
That's right.
Or two or three, you know? And so I heard of people this week, I heard this encouraged me so much that I heard people in our church saying that they had a family member at their house watching church online that never goes to church.
Yes.
But they were there eating a donut,
good.
watching Angie and doing Find the Sheep. And which I loved how the camera was like, like finding the sheep. And just, I mean, they were hearing God's word. They were hearing the gospel.
That's right.
And they're willing to, in this time, people that are not normally open to it are open right now.
That's right.
So what a great opportunity. It's cool.
And here's the thing too. It's an opportunity for our faith to rise and for us to practice what we say we believe in.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for me, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I've had those moments where I'm going, oh man, this is, and I'm like, whoa, be still my heart. Right.
Yes.
And like, as you know, I'm trying to make sure, my family's okay during this time. We're trying to be smart, exercise wisdom and take the directives of our leaders and those sort of things. But going, God, like, this is why I read my word. This is why I pray, so that during times like this, my faith does rise.
Yeah.
Because God is a shelter in the storm. And I think if we're not careful, we can sit there and go, I just can't wait till this is over. I can't wait. And we put all of our heart and effort and everything into like this being over with versus, God, what do you want to do right now?
Yeah.
And us being the church and going, we need to rise in this time.
Because some of us we are so afraid. And, I don't think there's a single person who hasn't felt the feeling of fear.
Right. Absolutely.
But we have, fears of feeling, afraid of choice, right?
Yes.
So half of our people are like, I'm so afraid, I'm just paralyzed by my fear. And we understand that. There's a choice to make. And then there's some of us that are like, we've got this, like, we're trying to pretend like we're not afraid. And we got this, like, machismo, like, whatever, these dumb people and their fear,
Right. We're being dismissive.
I'm being dismissive.
Right.
And both of those people are missing opportunities in the middle where God is to be people of faith and because courage can exist at the same time fear exists.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And God is there in all those things.
And then you have that other camp too, they think faith means YOLO.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
you know
good.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I've got faith. I ain't worried about this. Hey guys, who's coming out and hanging out at my house? We're having a barbecue tonight and invite 30 people over.
Yeah.
It's like, be smart, exercise wisdom, be careful how you say things, because this is not the first time
honor leadership. Honor leadership.
Honor
Yeah, that's
our
important.
local authorities and our state and national authorities. Absolutely. Because they're trying to help make this thing lift
And this isn't a fear thing. Yeah, this is like you said, this is a wisdom thing. We're all nonchalant and like, we don't care. This is the scamdemic that you hear people talk about that, which is so silly. But people act like that until, God forbid, it's their
until it becomes personal.
Until it becomes personal. Until they know someone who had, right?
Right.
And then they're like, well, maybe we shouldn't have cookouts with 40 people, so.
Right.
Let's practice wisdom now for the sake of others, right?
That's right. Because every life matters, no matter the age.
That's right.
That life matters, absolutely. And God has a plan and a purpose for that life. And this isn't the first time we've experienced this, is it? This type of thing.
No, it's not. In fact, I thought it would be neat just to kind of go through the last 20 years.
Okay.
Can we go through the last 20 years just a second?
Take a journey.
And not to say that this is just like all the others, because I think sometimes we're dismissive and even go, we've been through this before. Well, not exactly.
Not exactly.
But we had been through scary things before.
We have.
That were incredibly difficult for people. And all these things, there were unaffected people, but all these things there were, people that were greatly affected.
Right.
But just the year 2000, think about this. I don't know if you can keep this list in your head, but we had Y2K.
Okay, wait a second.
Okay.
Y2K. Can I tell you how my dad and our family prepared for Y2K?
Tell me.
We went to a little market and Dad bought 3 Catholic candles and we bought a jar of peanut butter. And that was supposed to get us through this ultimate collapse. And so for all of you who don't remember Y2K, when the clocks hit year 2000,
at midnight,
they were afraid that everything, the world was going to shut down because none of them had been programmed to go beyond 1999. They were going to reset to 0.
Yeah.
And so there were literally businesses going around trying to log in. Yes, they were going through the dark ages again. And so everyone was stocking and hoarding.
But your dad bought peanut butter.
Dude, we were set for at least a day.
Rick Whitford is a legend now in my mind. That is so John Wayne.
And the whole time he was laughing. Like, he didn't take it serious at all. So like, I didn't have a reason to fear as a kid because my dad was just.
We had an all night. We
great.
were spiritual. In my church growing up, we had an all night prayer meeting.
Really?
And I remember what everybody was just, calling down fire. But when it hit midnight, everyone was like, just checking.
Oh, we go home now.
So we had.
It worked, guys. We did
we made it. Our faith saw us through.
Yes,
okay,
right.
so Y2K was 2000.
Okay.
2001, we had anthrax.
Oh, yeah.
2002, we had the West Nile virus.
Dude, that was,
2003, SARS. 2005, we had bird flu.
That was bad.
That was a big deal. 2006, E. coli. 2008, we had the bad economy.
That's right.
Which was very difficult.
Collapse, yeah.
I mean, there were people all around our nation that were
tough.
out of jobs. Very difficult. 2006, E. coli. No, I went backwards. 2009, swine flu.
Swine flu affected us.
Yeah.
On our honeymoon, we were going to go to Cozumel on our Carnival cruise, and they shut down the border.
Oh man!
So I didn't get to see the beautiful waters.
Yeah. So so you felt that one.
I felt that one.
Yeah, but you still honeymooned, I'm sure.
Hey, yeah, of course.
So swine flu. Then in 2010 we had the BP oil spill. 2012 we had the Mayan calendar. The whole world was coming down.
That's right. There were movies about that.
There were movies and everything.
That's right.
2013 we had North Korea.
Yes.
2014 we had Ebola virus.
That's right.
2015 we had ISIS.
That was huge.
Yeah,
that was
huge.
that was wrecking it. Yeah.
2016 we had the Zika virus, and then now 2020 we have the coronavirus. And so the thing that I just thought of is that all of those had unique challenges, and they were scary to certain parts of the population, parts of the world. And but the one thing that I hold to, and this is not to sort of minimize
at all
coronavirus and what we're facing now as a nation and as a world, but the thing that I hold on to is that God was God in 2000. He was God in 2010.
That's right.
He's God in 2020. He was before, he will be after. And none of those things took God off of the throne.
No.
And he saw people through incredibly difficult times. And a lot of those times schools were closing and people were losing jobs and things that are difficult to walk through happened then. And I think there's something powerful about looking back and going, God, you were faithful then. And it gives us courage for today.
Absolutely.
The things that we're walking through now.
Absolutely. I mean, humanity is resilient. Humanity has stood the test of time. I mean, there's never been a generation that hasn't experienced something.
Yeah.
And, the generations before us, I mean, with World War II and all the different things that have happened, and it's just one of those things where this is, it confirms the Bible.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think in a lot of Christian circles, we think because we believe in God, because God is so good, that we aren't going to experience bad times, and that we're not going to experience hardships. And the Bible says the exact opposite. James says, count it as joy, right?
That's right.
When you face various trials, and so it's one of those things where it's like, so we know that trials will come.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think we can do our best to prepare ourselves for those trials.
Jesus said, John 16:33, in this world,
Yeah,
you will.
You will.
You will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. And he talks about how he's going to give us his peace so that in me you could have peace, right? Yes. And that's the big question. That's the real big question. It's not whether we're going to have hard times, and it's not whether God said he'd give us peace, because he did. The question is, are we in him?
Can you step into peace?
Can you step into peace?
Yeah.
And peace is not just like some intellectual concept,
right,
or idea. Peace is a person.
Absolutely.
His name is Jesus.
And I one thing that helped me out so much when battling through some different anxiety stuff was when I read in Philippians 4, it said, be anxious for nothing. That means whatever I write on that list, if I write coronavirus, if I write kids, if I write whatever it is, I can scratch that out. And God has commanded me, do not be anxious about that thing. But instead, rejoice, right?
Yeah.
And it says, and make my prayers and supplication known to him with thanksgiving, with a spirit of gratitude. Yeah. It says, and then the peace that surpasses my understanding will fill my heart. So there's a prerequisite to me having that peace.
Yeah.
I've got to let go of anxiety. I've got to choose to let go of that thing that I'm trying to control, whatever is in my life that I'm afraid about. And I've got to give that to Jesus. And then in place of that, his peace comes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we want to hold on.
His peace guards our hearts. Right. That's good.
So if it's a guard, I don't want that guard. I don't want to be fenced in with the dog that's trying to eat me. Right? Let go of it, and then he guards.
Yeah.
The
original language in that is like Paul's talking about like a soldier. Peace is like a soldier. And he's like using the word picture of a Roman centurion coming and staying in your home. Wow. Like he's literally in the room with you, giving you safety. And that's what Paul's saying. Whenever you and I pray and we worship and we give thanks, God comes in and stands guard over our home. Man, I wonder how many times in the last week, anyone who's watching this has just sat down with their family and prayed out loud.
Oh, man.
Or just made a list about things they're thankful for. Let's go around the table and talk about what we're thankful for.
Dude, that's
and
awesome.
Give God praise,
That's a great idea.
Because we've spent so much time sending memes back and forth, and which a lot of them are funny, or even just scary facts and things. And,
right.
And there's so many better things we can be doing with our.
How much has this consumed us?
Yes.
And eventually that's going to start. We're going to start. It's going to start kind of spilling over to our kids and or to our spouse and to our friends and man, that's perfect because you talked about fixing your focus in the message and here in a minute let's talk about that for a second. But maybe I've got a little list of things. Maybe we need to figure out a couple of things that what is it we can do. Let's be encouraging. What can we do during this time when we're stuck with our kids in our house all the time? And even can see it as a blessing. We don't always get opportunities to be with our family this much, and it can be hard. It can absolutely be hard.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of good.
Yeah.
A lot of good. I mean, we just came out of an entire series about love, marriage, and family. Perfect timing, because now we're stuck with them. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people feel like. I mean, it sounds harsh, but a lot of people are going, I've got my kids here all day, and I'm trying to teach them too. What? They want. I just want to go back to work. And it's not because they don't love their kids or this sort of thing. It's just because it's not easy being with everyone all the time, this close to each other.
It's we got to be able to see the silver lining. It's amazing how if there weren't a coronavirus and someone told you can save the world by staying home in your pajamas and watching TV, we'd be like, what? Yeah, but because we have to, we're like, are you kidding me? Right? Or you get to just be with your kids. You get to have 2 spring breaks, 3 spring breaks,
Yeah.
But isn't it crazy how powerful the choice is and how powerful the mind is? And
Because we can't.
yeah, we miss the blessing
We do.
that we do have. And even today, I tried to be a good pastor and a good Christian and have a devotional time with my family. We all got our Bibles out and we're reading together. And, one person's reading and the other kids are like, banging the table. And one of the verses that we read was like, and so it took us an hour to get through like one passage of scripture, and there's one verse that was about, my son, Proverbs 24, taste honey, and it's like sweet the honeycomb, and such is wisdom to your soul. And I was trying to make this like object lesson about how just like honey tastes sweet to your tongue, that's what the Bible does for your soul and God's wisdom. And everyone take a taste of honey. And then they all take a taste and they're like, ew, this is gross. Ugh. And they started arguing. I was like, you guys stink, whatever, go away. So it totally backfired and didn't work, but I tried.
So it can go on record as saying that none of us have these perfect moments.
None of us, yeah.
That when here's the thing too, especially if that's not like a culture in your home already.
Yeah.
Even when it is, I mean, here's the thing. I know there's been times in my life as a dad where I've gone, I'm a really good dad. And then I had my second kid. I'm like, man, I'm horrible. Like nothing's working with him that worked with him.
Right.
And then now with 4, it's like the same thing. And then as I feel like I'm getting a grip on it, they get older and cognitively something shifts. And then now they're questioning things they didn't question before. They have a different opinion. And I'm going, when did you get opinions?
Yeah.
And so you're trying to parent through all that. And you're trying to, and I think that's why we get in those moments and it can be so defeating sometimes.
Yeah.
Because man, so any of you out there trying to do spiritual lessons with your kids, know that it's not easy. It's not going to look like a movie scene.
Yeah.
But you can do it.
And we're all stressed. Everyone's kind of got this undercurrent of stress, no matter how much we're trying to hide it. And we're all on edge with each other. And I think we just need to be really careful about, the way we treat people, the way that the words that we speak. Man, put a smile on your face. Be intentional about just your kindness and how you serve people in your family, things that you do for them. Step outside in your backyard, get some vitamin D.
Yes.
It's amazing how much that changes
your perspective.
Pray together, read the Bible together. What if you all just sat around in a circle and said, we're going to read 2 verses together.
Right.
And then we're going to go around the table and say, what'd you get out of that? Or what part of that stood out to you? Or what did God speak to you? Yeah. Even just something that simple, Yeah. We just had our kids like all pick a verse and handwrite it out today. Because there's just something beautiful about just writing scripture out.
Absolutely.
And talking to about, how it ministered to them and what encouraged them. So just simple things like that, I think, could go a long way.
Absolutely. I think during this time, there's this kind of the sneaky thing that's sitting there, and it wants to rob you from all that time from your family, and it's your phones. Ooh. It's the constant what's next, what happened, what are they saying about this, what are they saying about this, and if you're in Facebook, I can tell you right now, if you're spending all your time on Facebook, you are going to lean to negativity.
Yeah.
And your family's going to reap the worst expression of you because of where it puts your mind. Because I know I was scrolling on Facebook the other day just going, oh my gosh, I just want to see what's going on. And it was negative. And sadly, there was a lot of Christians too that were saying things like, man, that's not loving, And I think that's one thing that we can talk about. It's a little bit different than some of the other things that we faced. Mm-hmm. Is that July 27th, 2007, the iPhone came out.
Yeah.
And then there's been this progression of apps being built. We've got over 2.1 million apps in the App Store now. And we're at a time and date right now in this culture, in this economy, that it is the culture.
Yeah.
We orbit around social media. We orbit around this connectivity, often false connectivity, but we're still connected.
Yeah.
And everyone has a voice.
That's right.
And you know what? There's a lot of noise.
That's right.
And if we're not careful, we can consume a lot of things now that we would have never consumed before. So my bad mood is actually a result of a lot of information I would have never known about 10 years ago. And I'm carrying all this, and it's wreaking havoc on my emotions and my mental state.
Come on.
So, I think a lot of this too is the fact that we have too much information at our fingertips and too many voices in the mix. And we need to really dial back and choose, which is exactly your first point. You said make a choice about which voice that you're going to listen to.
Yep. And it's so, on one hand, that makes it sound kind of crazy that we're hearing voices, right? But we can, as Christians, we believe that we can hear the voice of God, right? And the number one way we can do that is we can read a book that he wrote us, right? We can read the Bible, and it's a love letter from God to us, and we can choose which words we're going to let dominate the thoughts in our head. I read recently that each person, on average, thinks 60,000 thoughts a day.
Jeez.
That seems like a lot, right?
Yeah, it seems like a lot.
And I don't know how they figured this out, but 48,000 of those thoughts are typically negative, right?
Yeah.
So we think the enemy is coronavirus, right? Or we think the enemy's out there. The enemy's the devil. The enemy's that person that's rude or that difficult thing. But a lot of times the enemy's in us.
Yeah.
The battlefield's in here.
It's our own thoughts.
I think it was. I wrote this quote down. Charles Spurgeon said, "Beware of no man more than of yourself." He said, "We carry our worst enemies within us." Right. Wow. So I'm my own worst enemy a lot of times, and I think it's because of the thoughts that I allow to consume me.
Absolutely.
Words are powerful. God created with words. The power of life and death is in the tongue, right? And then the words that we speak and we listen to become the thoughts in our heads and in our hearts. And as a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
That's right.
And it's no coincidence that Paul said, after all of that, be anxious about nothing, but in everything by prayer and petition, present your request to God, and the peace of God will rule your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And he said, think about.
Yeah, now that's happened, now choose to think here.
Right. I mean, the progression.
That's right.
Think about things that are awesome and excellent and holy and pure and trustworthy. And that's a choice we get to make. We can't control everything that we hear, although we can make some decisions to block some things out and put the phone in the drawer and turn off the screen. But we can choose what we meditate on. We can choose what we allow to consume us. And we can think about the right things. And that's going to show up in our peace. It's going to show up in the way that we just live life. So that's massive. You got to choose the right voice.
That's right. It's like, all right, God, it's like God can deliver us.
Yeah.
God can set us free. God can give us peace, but we can choose to go grab onto that other thing again and pick it right back up if we want to. And he's going, okay, now that you have peace, let's think about these things. Yeah. And I think we have to be reminded of that because it's so easy to, all right, I'm good. All right. And you get around a group of people and then, or you hear that news and it all comes flooding back.
That's right.
So we have to be really careful there. And I thought it'd be really cool as we kind of wrap up. I looked up online at some stuff here. What are some cool things that you could do with family? Okay. So this is what the internet is saying right now.
All right.
Read a book. These are things that you could do as a person or with your family.
I like that.
Okay, so read a book, write and journal.
Okay.
Listen to podcasts. I think that's a good one.
Listen to podcasts.
Or watch this one. Anyway.
Little first YouTube channel.
That's right.
Go
for a walk. Get outside. It may be in your backyard, but you can do that. Cook.
Yeah.
They say that one of the life skills that kids do not get in school is cooking. Things like that. So what if you made cookies with your kids or something like that?
That's good.
This was 16 ways to survive quarantine with kids.
Okay.
Get reading.
Yeah.
Pray. Teach your kids how to meditate on the word.
Mm-hmm.
Do a game night or a game day. That's always fun. Make up fun games with the kids.
Oh, come on, man.
All that kind of stuff.
Put a puzzle together.
Yeah, something simple. Keep a normal schedule. They say that's crucial. Is with kids, they are all about routine. They're even saying, like, now that you're having to do school, you want to make sure you actually get your kids up and actually dressed.
Yeah, wake up time.
Keep it all the same, so they're not in the loungy pajama mode.
Yeah,
because kids are all habitual.
It's good.
Take advantage of online resources. I actually heard that zoos are streaming their animal exhibits live.
Oh, really?
Where you can actually go on a virtual tour of zoos and different things. And the Louvre in is it London? Where it is? At the risk of sounding stupid. But there's all these museums that are actually doing virtual tours where you go online and actually walk through the museums and stuff because people aren't going to be there.
Yeah.
So there's actually a lot of really cool stuff in the day and age that we live in going through this. A lot of resources available to us. Keep a journal. Have a movie marathon.
Come on,
that's it every day for us. Our TV time is probably way too much.
My kids watched Top Gun the other day from 1985. I was like, you guys got to learn about Maverick and Goose. They were like, who? And I was like, no, seriously. So yeah, their lives will never be the same now.
No, okay. So here's another good one. You ready? Clean. Teach your kids how to clean.
Yes.
The beautiful thing is your kids are home. They can help clean. Hopefully.
Put them to work.
That's right. Limit, though, social media and news coverage.
Yeah.
Limit. When you're home with your family, one of the ways to survive quarantine is to limit the amount of social media and news coverage that you are consuming as a parent.
And if you turn your phone off at a certain time, you'll sleep better that night.
It's true.
You'll go to bed with a clear head. And
absolutely.
It'll be good.
FaceTime with family, FaceTime with other family members, FaceTime with friends, exercise. That's not something we really want to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go online and you type in things to do while quarantine or things to do while at home with kids, there are so many resources that are available to you. And I think those are some of the fun ones. I know our family, every Friday night, we try to do a pizza night and a movie. So the kids pick a movie, we order some pizza, or we make pizza, something. And of course, we get a pizza that's like the big box and they complain because it's squares versus triangles. And you're like, oh, come on.
Let's put out this challenge.
Okay.
You said FaceTime. I want you to pray today, right? Whenever you watch this, pray and ask God to bring one person to your mind.
Yeah. And
then just FaceTime them. Have a conversation and just pray for them.
Face to face.
Face to face. You know what I mean? Because we can't get out and about right now, and that's a good thing. Yeah. That's wise. That's precaution. But just find a way to stay connected somehow. Yeah.
Absolutely. And one more thing.
Okay.
If you do something really fun with your family, please post it. Take a picture of it. You and your family doing something really fun, or if it's just you, or if it's you and your spouse, or you and a friend. Take a picture and throw it on our Facebook, throw it on Instagram, and go, hey, this is what we're doing. And maybe collectively as a church, we can have a ton of things on there to just help each other out during this time.
Yes.
And make each other laugh and give each other ideas and stuff to do with family.
And we had a lot of people participate this Sunday with church at home.
Yes.
If you're experiencing church on home with loved ones, man, take a picture, post that to Facebook, Instagram, and that's encouraging to us.
Yes.
And it's encouraging to others that we're all doing this together. That's cool.
Absolutely.
And you can always, if you have a need or a prayer request, you can email the church. You can get in touch with us through social media, and we'd love to pray for you and respond. As always, you can give online. All those ways that we can keep being the church. We want to do all that. So
absolutely, we want to make sure as SAF that we're putting out content. It is encouraging, but we also want to have a hand at work and a hand at help in the middle of this. So every amount of giving that comes in, we want to make sure that we're able to help all the needs that come through the church. We can continue to help people there and be the storehouse that helps people. If you go to sanangelofirst.org, all those resources are available. Yeah. You can get in touch with social media, all those things. If you need prayer requests, there's a contact form. Just hit connect. Yes. And you can fill out that form. It'll send it. Our staff, we get together, whether it be via Zoom or whatever it is right now, and we will pray over those prayer requests with you, for you. Yeah. There's just so much. And as always, our services are this Sunday, church at home. It's going to be 10:30 for the kids.
That's right.
SAF kids, and it's going to be 11 o'clock for the main service. This week we plan on having a little bit of worship too, our own worship. So
I can't wait for that. It's going to be good.
Yeah, so a lot of cool stuff in the work. We are rolling with the punches, and we're making the best of this, and we're just looking to God for encouragement and for joy and for peace, and He's faithful.
Amen.
So anyway, I'm so glad you listened today, and we hope to see you guys on Sunday.